On September 17, 2025, it was announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live is going to be suspended indefinitely for comments related to the murder of Charlie Kirk. And of course, right now, the left is collectively losing their shit as a result of this, calling it cancel culture, some calling it fascism. But what exactly did Jimmy Kimmel say? And is this actually cancel culture? Let's take a look at this video clip and we'll talk about it.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend.
Now, personally, I find Jimmy Kimmel to be criminally unfunny. And I'm actually surprised he lasted as long as he did, because all he did over the last 8 years is just complain about Trump. That was like his whole shtick. Whereas previous late night hosts, well, they took jabs at both sides, and I'm completely fine with that. But at this point, he's nothing more than just another mouthpiece for the left. Now, one of my problems I have with what we've been seeing throughout the media and entertainment is the blatant lying and misrepresentation of what is actually truly happening. And this is the first time in well over a decade where the media is actually being held accountable for what they say. And you don't have to look any further than 2020 and 2021. Just look how the media went and spun the George Floyd riots. Fiery but peaceful protests. And then when you take a look at what happened with January 6th, well, it's the worst thing since 9/11. Despite the fact that the only person died during that riot was Ashley Babbitt, one of the protesters, and not the police like they said, which was a lie. What Jimmy Kimmel said was not true. It was a lie. He is not MAGA, and there's plenty of evidence out there to go and back that up. They went so far as to go and fabricate a photo of the murderer wearing a MAGA shirt. Okay, let that sink in. They are so desperate to pin this on the right because they don't want to take accountability for their own actions that people are actually going and fabricating evidence to point to this narrative. And we know that this is completely untrue. What kicked all this off was this post by Nexstar. Nexstar ABC affiliate to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live immediately beginning tonight. This was posted September 17, 2025. Company objects to talk show host comments on killing of Charlie Kirk. Of course, they have this to say. Irving, Texas, September 17, 2025. Nexstar Media Group, of course, it has the NASDAQ code. Today announced that the company's owned and partner television stations affiliated with ABC television networks will preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Charlie Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our nation's political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located, said Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar Broadcasting Division. Alford. Sorry, I said Alfred. It's Alford. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities where we serve is simply not the public interest at the current time, and we made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move forward in the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. Okay, so what's my take on all of this? Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't. And I'm sure there's people out there who are like, whoa, Ian. I thought you're for free speech. I thought you were against cancel culture. Yes, absolutely, I am. I think cancel culture is retarded and it needs to stop. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with holding people to their own principles. And if the left is for cancel culture and it's now being wielded against them, well, maybe they'll think twice about doing it. Maybe we can actually put cancel culture aside. The only way we're going to get rid of cancel culture is if we use it against the very people that basically who have unleashed it and have been promoting it. I mean, hell, there's a guy who even wrote a book about the case for cancel culture, and he's been on Piers Morgan, and he even wrote an article on Rolling Stone about this. So, of course, they're going to call it. Cancel culture doesn't exist to them, right? It's accountability culture, and finally, they are being held accountable for their own actions. Whatever. Okay, on the free speech thing. Yes, I am for free speech. I don't think people should be fired from their jobs for holding a specific political opinion or making a joke. That's retarded. But at the same time, if you're going out there and genuinely saying deplorable shit and your employer has a problem with it, most companies actually have a social media policy. And before cancel culture really started, I worked with somebody who basically went online, talked shit about the company, and got fired as a result of that. Sure, free speech, yeah. But to go online and talk shit about the company you work for is not wise. It really isn't. Going out and celebrating somebody's death because you don't like their political opinion is not a political opinion. It's disgusting. Have some decency if you're doing this. And I'm not asking you to mourn Charlie Kirk. There's plenty of people on the left I don't like that have passed away, but I didn't go out and celebrate it. I didn't mourn them either, sure, but I didn't go out there and cheer it on, being happy that they passed away. Dianne Feinstein's a really good example of this. Not a fan of hers. Now, people are going to be saying that, well, Jimmy Kimmel, he was fired for his opinion or fired from making a joke. That's simply not the case. You saw the clip. He stated it as if it was a fact, which it is not. So he lied, and he's now being held accountable for lying. This is the problem when it comes to shows like The View and these late night shows that are labeled as infotainment. Look at how many times that Sunny Houston had to go and retract things in real time because the shit she was saying was simply just not accurate. They need to have accurate information. My personal take when it comes to the media and the news is just the facts, man. Get rid of opinion. Just report what is actually happening. Don't give spin. Just the facts, man. Okay? I'm a commentator. My show is about opinion. And I try to be as accurate as I possibly can with things based off the information I have available to me. The news should be about facts. Not the truth, not somebody's truth, just the facts so people can go and make their own decisions. That's how it should be. But that's not what we have anymore. And that is a huge, huge issue. Look at the amount of times that the media has gone and taken things out of context when it comes to things that Trump has said, various others. Just look at what they're doing with Charlie Kirk, calling him a white supremacist. All these lies that are so easy to debunk because all you have to do is go and watch what Charlie Kirk had to say. This is a huge issue. We need to stop the media from just going and lying to the American people. And this is what I'm talking about. Just look at what Senator Scott Wiener posted. Under fascism, media is not free or independent institutions, but a tool used by the state for propaganda, censorship, and social control. My question to you, Mr. Wiener, is what the fuck do you think was going on under Biden? This exact same thing. Little fascism was happening under Biden. We found out from the Twitter files what was going on at Twitter, where you had agents of the state basically telling Twitter to go and censor certain people and certain political opinion. Hell, just look at what happened under COVID and the draconian rules that were put in place around the discourse of COVID. My channel was struck twice. One for someone giving their opinion on a live stream, and the second one that was by my producer who reported something that was actually a fact. But my channel, and when I went to go and dispute this, citing the article, where it came from, YouTube didn't care, and I had to deal with the week's suspension as a result. So, when the left goes and cries foul, that is cancel culture, fascism, whatever, cry me a fucking river, okay? okay? Your side has been doing this for years at this point. I am completely unsympathetic to your cries. I really am. Now, if you want to agree, cancel culture is bad, we should really stop this, and you are sincere. That's the big thing, being sincere, because we all know once they get power again, and they will, they'll use it again. But if they're willing to actually stop and be sincere about it, I'm cool with ending cancel culture. But in the meantime, I have no issues whatsoever holding you to your own principles. Of course, they're going to try and use my principles against me, saying, oh, well, you're a hypocrite. I thought you were for free speech. Well, I am. I truly am. But at the same time, I have no issues with holding you accountable to your principles, not mine. Anyway, folks, these are my thoughts. What are yours? If you enjoyed this video, I know it's been a while since I've got one out. Very, very long time trying to change that. I'm trying to get up earlier in the morning so I can go and record these videos rather than doing it at night, because at that point, I'm just too tired to get anything done. Anyway, leave your comments on your thoughts. I'll catch you next time, folks.